Can we see Jaylon make some more catches?
What's that?
Can we see Jaylon make some more catches?
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if we're going to throw it to him anymore or not, but it's a good play. I mean, we felt like it was one of those deals where, that's why we went for 2 in that situation. We were trying to, if we needed to, we were going to try to obviously score a touchdown and kick an extra point and win the game if we could get the onside kick back. And so, we had a really good 2-point play we felt good about, and so that kind of allowed us to, to go for that 2-point conversion in that situation.
Shows you the kind of confidence you have in his hands. I mean, that was a huge point in the game, and you were willing to do it.
Yeah. I mean, he's caught the ball well. We've been practicing it it's one of those plays we've been practicing for 2 months, and so he's caught it pretty much every time we've thrown it to him. He's a good athlete, so I don't think any of us were that surprised that he executed the way he did.
You've always talked about your team's response after games, and obviously this year you've only been having to respond after victories, but after the other night, what have you seen in either practice or just the way your guys are carrying themselves, interacting after the first loss?
Yeah, we practiced on Sunday, and so what we typically do is if we win a road game, we give the team off on Sunday, and we didn't win, so we practiced on Sunday, had a really good spirited practice, went for about an hour, and we got home late. I mean, guys were tired and beat up physically, and went out there and practiced on Sunday. So, with a lot of enthusiasm, and so that was good to see that. You don't really know. Every team is different. You think you know how guys are going to respond, and you don't really know until they do it. So I was encouraged by that. And I know, the guys that lifted today was a voluntary lift, and most of the guys that showed up and lifted today were, talked to Kaz and said they had great workouts, and guys were, spirits were good, and everybody was good to go.
With the struggles on the special teams throughout the whole season, have you thought maybe in the future about putting somebody there at the coaching staff full time in the future?
Well, I mean, look, every special teams coach in the country pretty much coaches another position, so our deal is not any different than pretty much anybody else's. I mean, there's a little bit of a narrative out there. I mean, going into that ball game, we were 6th in the country in kickoff return yardage given up. Okay, so we were one of the top 10 teams in the country giving up kickoff returns. Even after giving up, having the bad day that we had yesterday, we're 31 in the country right now. We're top 25 in the country in kickoff returns. I mean, so I think there's a narrative out there that's not completely true and not exactly right. But the game the other night, we punted in sometimes. I mean, it's going to affect your average when you punt in. I mean, there's lots of situations sometimes where statistics don't really tell the truth. The issue that we've had is, we haven't kicked the ball very deep, and so that's been something. We've had some games where we have, and we've had some games where we haven't. And what we're doing, if you look at the stats across the country, I mean, we've kicked off almost twice as much as anybody else in terms of number of kickoffs without touchbacks, almost in college football. And so, it's like anything else. I mean, if you have, if you play golf, 20 rounds of golf, and you don't wear a glove, you're more apt to getting a blister than you are if you play 5 rounds of golf without a glove. And so it's the same deal. You got to look at that, and then you got to look at all the kicks that guys have to cover, and then you got to look at the impact that it has on that, and then you got to look at we've had some really good players that have been hurt covering kicks. Judah Bell was our best kick coverer. Chevin Calloway has been banged up. Cam Jones has been banged up. Some of the best guys that we have, Eric Sutton has been a stalwart on special teams. So you take probably the 4 best kickoff cover guys that we have on our team, and you take them off the kickoff coverage team. And nobody cares. I mean, it's about getting the job done. I get that, but the narrative isn't completely true.
Is Judah and Eric, those guys, you feel like you're probably going to redshirt this year at this point?
Yeah. We're definitely. Both of them, we expect to do that and hopefully get them back.
It's been a while since you guys have had to bounce back after a loss with this great run. What's the key to your guys getting back on the horse quickly and not letting the disappointment of Saturday make it worse down the road?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's always important. Just how do you respond to losing, or how do you respond to a situation that you haven't responded to in the past? And we haven't had to deal with that this year. I like this team. I like our mindset. I mean, I think there's a reason why we were 8-0, and we had to battle in some tough games. It wasn't easy. I mean, we weren't just showing up and with better players than everybody had. And so we had to play good, solid football. We had to to not turn the ball over. We had to create turnovers on defense. We had to do little things to give us a chance to win. And, we didn't do that Saturday. I mean, I think we faced a quarterback that probably played, the best he had played up to this point. I think you got to give Memphis credit. I mean, their guys made some contested plays. We were right there. And so, the ball didn't bounce the way we wanted it to a couple of times. And, and then we had the issues with our kickoff team that really hurt us as well. I just gave them good field position all night. So, you're not going to beat a really good football team when you don't play your best and when their quarterback's as hot as he was and they make some contested plays like they did. And it's just one of those nights. And so our guys understand that. I think they appreciate that. I think they realize that, that everything's still in front of them and we just got to, continue to keep our head down and get better and play better this week. And, this week when that ball's in the air and we have an opportunity to make a play, we got to make it. And you got to give their guys credit. They made them last week and we didn't.
Throughout the season, when your offense has run the ball well, you've always been quick to give credit to the running backs, but also to the offensive line in front. So presumably the struggle the other night, some of the blame goes to both, but did Memphis do anything unusual, or once you looked at video, what did you see?
No, I mean, I think it looked like anything else. I mean, I think there's always, you get into a game and you don't really know how they're going to play you. And, we threw for 450 yards, and so we scored 48 points. And so, the number one thing that we want to do is move the ball and score points. Sometimes it's going to be, running the football, and sometimes it's going to be throwing the ball, and then ideally it's both. And I think we're at our very best certainly when we can throw it and we can run it. Part of it we just felt like our matchups were better outside than they were running the ball. And so, we felt comfortable with that. We felt like we could get first downs and we felt like we could move the ball throwing it. I think you look at our yards per attempt, it wasn't bad running the ball. You know what I mean? We didn't really struggle to run it. We just didn't run it much just because we felt like the matchups were better out at the wide receiver position.
With Myron, he obviously didn't get many touches the other night. Is he healthy? What do you kind of see him?
Yeah, he's a little injured. He's one of the guys that got hurt on one of the kickoff coverage units, and he's probably one of our better guys as well that didn't play the remainder of that game. We'll see. We'll see. I would expect him to practice later in the week, and we'll kind of see how he's doing.
Aside from the loss, it's been a pretty great season so far. What do you think that has meant to the SMU community and like the city of Dallas now headed into homecoming week?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been, good. I mean, I think you guys would know probably better than I do, just because you know how it is. I mean, we go to work when it's dark and go home when it's dark, and so we don't talk to a lot of people outside of that stuff right now. And so our sense of what's going on with all that is probably not, as acute as other people's, just because, we're kind of bunker mentality this time of year. But, I mean, it seems like there's a different feel certainly this year than there was last year. I know our players feel it probably because they go to class every day. I know when I go get my coffee in the morning or midday coffee or whatever, I go in the coffee shop and, I didn't used to, maybe one guy with an SMU sweatshirt once a week, and now you walk in there and, there's people wearing, 6 or 8 SMU sweatshirts in the coffee shop or hats or whatever. So from that perspective, it seems different to me. I know from, the interaction I've had with fans and alumni, and, I think they're excited. It seems like they are. So, I mean, I think that there's something good going on. I mean, I know from a momentum standpoint when it comes to recruiting and talking to high school coaches, I think they view maybe the program differently than they did. And we'll see how that pays off. I think it'll pay off for sure in some of the recruiting and some of the late recruiting we'll do, and certainly will pay off in a big way, I think, for 2021 as we start getting into that pretty heavily. So it seems like it's good, but as I said, you guys are probably know better than I do.
Beyond telling your guys, hey, let's go 1-0 this week, is there a message in addition to that?
Well, I think the message has kind of always been just do what you've done to get yourself successful to begin with, and so I think our guys want to prove themselves. I mean, I think that the guys that are covering kicks want to cover kicks better. I think our defense wants to play better defense. I think our offense wants to not punt 6 times, and so I think just collectively. I think they realized that we missed an opportunity, and on a big stage, and we don't want to miss it again. And so, our guys are going to work really hard to to make sure that when we get in those situations moving forward, you know, we can make those plays that allow us to be successful.
Even though you say you missed an opportunity on that big stage, do you feel like the SMU brand still, I mean, it was a rousing success, and that it was a great game, you guys, you know,
Yeah.
exciting?
Yeah, I mean, you know, look, there wasn't one person on our sideline that didn't think we were going to win the game, so we're disappointed that we didn't do it. Even when we got down, there wasn't one person that didn't think we were going to win. So, you know, that's why we got back in the game, is because our guys believe, and you know, and they just keep playing hard, and they have a lot of pride in our team and this university and what they represent. And so, you know, they're going to make sure that no matter what, that they give their best effort and go down. If we're going to go down, we're going to go down fighting.
Any concern at all about the early game time and
No,
breaking
no.
up the Saturday routine?
Not for me. I mean, you know, anytime you do it a little bit different, it's unusual, but we're used to practicing early. So our guys are used to getting up early and practicing early, so I'm actually kind of excited about it.